Alrighty, what is up, guys? Evanaldo here. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome back to the live stream. Hope you guys are doing really well. What's up, None of Your Business? What's up, Victor? What's up, Carlton Way? Really appreciate you guys smashing the like button, all that. Damn it. Okay, is it back? I don't know if I cut out for a second there. I think my microphone wasn't completely plugged in. But anyway, guys, welcome back to the live stream. Always appreciate you guys smashing the like button. What's up, None of Your Business? What's up, Victor? What's up, Carlton Way? Always appreciate you guys. So I had an ETH long in that I closed out for a pretty small damn profit. Pretty recently. And now I'm kind of just hunting trades here. I mean, it doesn't look the best on Bitcoin, especially rejecting from that, kind of 102 area. 102 is an important place to hold if you want to, have the case to make a comeback. But, when we look at the macro, you had the bear div there on the monthly, like maybe, and the thing too is, I just want to say for everyone who's annoyed that Evanaldo is bearish for the first time, since probably like some point in 2023, I was bullish here. I was bullish here. I was bullish here. I'll be honest, I wasn't the most bullish here, but I was DCAing and talking about DCAing. Now, your boy is bearish. For the first time in a long time, your boy is bearish. You know what I mean? On the macro, at least. Short term, you still got some potential. Now, the thing here is, the thing I was thinking about too, guys, the first thing to think about here, and that None of Your Business, I think that one was right a few months ago about the market being over or whatever. Anyway, and you get more views if you're bullish, but if there's some times where you can be bearish, that's just this the way the game is played. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it plays up bullish. I don't know. But anyway, so the thing is that quarter four 2023 was really good. Quarter four 2024 was really good. Will quarter four 2025 be good? I mean, it doesn't really look like that as of right now. Obviously, okay, all the for even quarter, well, okay, quarter four 2022 wasn't too good, but it dumped down, then that was it. But you're due for a bad quarter, I would assume. Kind of like maybe like quarter three of 2021. Kind of like that area. And now all of a sudden everyone's completely against the 4-year cycle, even though it's played out pretty similar to how the 4-year cycles worked. Quarter four 2017, okay, it was pretty good. However, previous time, let's go on, let's get a little bit more data here actually. Previous time here, Bitcoin, I've been DCAing out. And I mean, we'll talk about ETH in a second, kind of the title of this, but, let's look at 2013. Okay, generally a bullish quarter four, then you came down. I think there is a little bit of hope, maybe, if you can do the same thing that we've done many times here, but I don't know. I mean, you confirmed the rare bearish sign here on your no, it's not loading, on your monthly, and this one it played out a little bit. I thought we had some more more potential. I don't know if that would have confirmed so quickly if it wasn't for the Trump tariffs, and then we came up farther. But at this damn point, it's getting the red Heiken-Ashi on the monthly. That's not a good sign. You dodged the bullet here, you dodged the bullet there, dodged the bullet there. Didn't really. You dodged the bullet a little bit there and came up. But then that was the bullet. Here after they ended QT, in 2019, you didn't really dodge the bullet much. You could argue, I guess, still down a good amount. I think if you were to do that, that's down to 54, which would be a great damn buy. And, well, could easily go down farther in that, somewhere in the 40s in session of the Bitcoin ETF. And we'll see what the institutions end up doing. I remember it was so funny back in like 2021 or 2022, Willie Woo was like saying that Bitcoin can't go under 40 or 30K or whatever unless Tesla sells. What happens? Tesla sold. Daily crowd. Death cross, yeah. So the death cross, it does not always mark the bottom. The death cross, we looked at it last time. I'm too lazy to put it up at this moment, but the death cross marks the start of bear market sometimes. I'm not disagreeing with you, but it doesn't always mark the bottom. There are many times where it's, mark the start of bear markets. And it can mark the start of this bear market potentially. So that's the potential. You got the bear div there. The thing too, all right, let's just look at this from a very objective standpoint. There are opportunities. You have the bear div. The bear div, that was the end. Monthly green dot. You had to wait a while, but you got it. And a damn good situation there. Same situation here. Same situation here as well. Okay. Well, that's a while to wait. Nobody wants to wait. It could be July actually, but nobody wants to wait that long. Let's look at the 3 week. Even if it's bearish. Even if it's bearish, I was dead get by. Yeah, okay. 200 moving average daily. We could look at those. Give me a second here, actually. Yeah, that's a good idea, man. Yeah, actually, thanks for pointing that out. Let's look at the daily 200. Where is that right now? Voila, I think it's right at the 108 that I was, 108 or 110. Yeah, it'll probably be at 108 by the time we get back there if we do. But 108's the big place I think you could jump back towards, potentially. Let's see. I would be, look, probably the 2 week would be the first place that I would give some consideration into, really getting back in or whatever. It was February, it wasn't until, October 2014, that wasn't the bottom. But it was close to it. Here is interesting too, because if you get a trigger wave in like, say, January or, May of next year, could be a good potential. Could be a very good potential depending on how other things look. But that's kind of the minimum, guys. July 22, well, you had one earlier. Not too good. Not too good in March of 22, believe me. Not too, where would you have bought there? 45K? Not too good compared to 15K. You gotta have some giant cojones to make it through there, But yeah, so that's that area. That's what we're talking about there. 102 is important to hold. I don't know if we're going to hold it here. Michael Burry shorting Palantir, and, AI or all that. I think he actually may get this trade right. He's been wrong so many times. Nobody's going to be wrong all the time. I'll tell you that much. Even Jim Cramer is right sometimes. Bear div there. That could be pretty, let's just look at previous, kind of bear market years. 2018, right to that point, really October was where you fell off in 2018. Yeah, you made a new high, and then, I think this one may, it's hard to say, obviously, but it is more of a bear situation, especially hitting, getting very close to a big place there. 700 is huge. And, we've talked about it, where would this even, this freaking S&P 500 is just, I'm just trying to think, like, where would you, 900, in 2028 or 20, that 900 would be where I would think 900 to maybe 1,000 would be where I would think you would probably top out for the decade, but we'll see what happens. I do think that this next year you're due for some type of drawback, but we'll see. Triple Q here. That dropped down. That could be it. That could be it. And everybody thinks once the government reopens, that's going to, help things out. And it may, for a little bit, but that doesn't mean you can't, that doesn't mean people still won't sell or other bad things can't come up, There's that potential right there. Let's see. 42K sold in the 20s. Brought back at 16, forward and sold when Bitcoin first started. Okay. Nice. How much money did you make? No, I'm just kidding. Don't answer that. I'm sure you did pretty well, but yeah. Yeah, there's always going to be that fear area. The thing too is, let me show you guys. Well, let's talk about ETH finally. Yeah, we got to talk about ETH. Your boy was bullish over here. Your boy was, definitely bullish over here. And your boy was bullish over here. Your boy was not as bullish over here, I'll be honest. It looked weird. I thought we might come down farther or something throughout this rally upward. We did pretty well with ETH, guys. I've done pretty well with ETH. You know, I'm scaling out. It's not a terrible idea to take profits on this. You know, 10 more days out of 21 days, you're probably going to confirm unless we rally up to above 4,000 in the next 10 days. I don't see what catalyst would even do that. Your government shutdown probably won't even end by then. Let's look at the odds for government shutdown. When will the government shutdown end? After November 16th. You know, it probably won't even end by then. Yeah, I mean, it could end, yeah, during these times. We'll see what happens. It could end. That's why, yeah, will the government shutdown end by? So 50-50, essentially 50-50 by November 15th. It might not even end by then. So it's probably not going to be that situation. You're probably going to confirm that. You also got the monthly frickin' bear div. You know, it's a bad situation. That's a large bear div. This one here was not a bear div. This is a true bear div from back there. That's no bueno. Now, we could talk about getting, you know, we'll talk about places to get back in, I'll tell you. I mean, you're probably going to get a good wave here at some point in 2026. It may even be Q1 2026. There's places to get back in that we'll talk about. And I do think if all goes well, what I'm hoping for is that we can do what we did here. This would be the kind of surprising, yeah, after they ended QT there, you know, it ends December 1st officially or whatever. So right around, you know, not far away, about a month. And I mean, I don't know if you're going to make a new all-time high against Bitcoin at the, you know, by the end of this decade, but anything's possible. It can generally still do well against Bitcoin here. And everybody's got some, you know, PTSD. Government shutdown will last. It could. That would be a nightmare, man. Especially with TSA and all that crap. You know, I mean, Americans are angry and, you know, miserable enough, you know. I hope it doesn't go on that long. I hope it ends, you know. I would think, based on the betting odds, it should end within a week, within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know. It doesn't look too good, yeah. You know. But yeah. You know, I mean, I think a lot of people, and I mean, I know, like, I will be the first to admit, I'll admit it. I'll definitely admit it. I knew there was more potential for us to keep going. I mean, things changed. There was potential for, you know, 7,300, 5,800, 5,300 for this. And I said from the longest time, this, in the 3 week and the monthly probably would lessen those odds greatly, substantially, lessen them enough where it's probably not worth to try to long up to that area. You know what I mean? We made a slightly new all-time high. You know, we did better than what most altcoins do for ETH in this cycle. And I think you could come back and make another high. I want to look at, so there's that. And I think a lot of people are leeching on, you know, kind of just the greed and all that, you know. And it's kind of wishful thinking because when I look at my portfolio here, I'm just like, you know, I remember, you know, I'd be like, if Bitcoin could get up to 100K a few years ago, I was like, oh man, I'm going to be, you know, doing so well, so wealthy, all that. And it gets there and then you're like, oh shoot, you know, that it doesn't feel as wealthy as I thought it would or whatever, you know what I mean? And then you want more, you know, it's all that type of game, but you just got to be objective with it. I don't know if you're going to even hold this 98. You may be headed to 97. I mean, we have not had a big dump in a while. You know, it's not even as bad as here yet. It could be even worse than this. I know I'm sounding freaking like hardcore bear right now, but I mean, your next spiral lines are at like 80K, 83, you know, these lows. And then, you know, after that 70, I mean, you could be January, February in the 70s. And then you could end up at your 200 weekly will probably test. I mean, I think it would be highly unlikely you don't test the damn 200 weekly as you've tested in every bear market. You know, it'll probably be at like high 60 in 2026 at some point. Like I would say that's honestly, that's probably bad. I mean, anything could happen, guys. Anything could happen. But probably 60K is best case scenario. You know, that's probably best case scenario, assuming the institutions don't get spooked. If they get spooked, you're going down to probably 40 to 50. You know, maybe even lower. If there's going to be a lot of freaking fear if some institutions start selling. If Michael Saylor sells any amount, oh my God, you're easily going down to 40K. And don't say that can't happen because everybody, including myself last time, said Tesla would never sell, and what did they do? They sold. So, you know, that's the thing. You know, I'm just trying to be as objective as possible, and we could look at, what's your boy bank runs coming? Yeah, I mean, we could look at. I would think if bank runs come obviously more money printed and things like that, interest rates would go low, would probably help with the bond market. You'd probably still see fear with Bitcoin for a while. Um, Shout out to Nightshade. He was saying, I didn't confirm this or like look at this myself, but he said he was saying a lot of politicians, a lot of the P words, the politicians have been buying Berkshire Hathaway. And I mean, for good reason. Every time it has like that 30% correction, and in bear market years for Bitcoin, it does well. Let's just look at this. If you can get like 30%, if you can outperform the S&P 500 by 30%, that's good. You got 30% more SPY shares. That's pretty damn good. You know what I mean? And when the S&P 500 crashes 30%, you're at even essentially. I mean, so there's that potential. BRK, we could look at this against, Bitcoin, and that's, green. What are we looking at? Green Heikin-Ashi on the monthly. I mean, 22 days to confirm. Unless we see some really big miracle in the second half of this month, which I guess is possible, you're probably going to confirm a green Heikin-Ashi. And if you look at, it's very similar to Bitcoin versus USD, but that jump there, that kind of interesting, and then that drop there, green there, didn't play out too well. You're in that area. April 21. You've outperformed, Bitcoin since July 25. It looks similar. It does look similar. That's what I will say here. And I mean, I waited a bit. I saw these things before. You confirmed here. I was patient with it. You confirmed that. I waited a bit, and now I'm there. And I mean, why? You got the bond exposure. You got some Japanese exposure, Japanese companies. I'm trying to think what else to put your money into in 2026. I mean, there's S&P 500. I wouldn't mess with the NASDAQ right now, personally. I think it's too overheated. I don't think it's worth the risk. You could do bonds. I don't think that. I think that's too. I don't think your bond market's going to do, unless you go into a recession. I don't think that's going to do incredibly well anytime soon. You'll probably do well with that. You probably outperform the S&P 500 or whatever. But I think you need something a little bit different. Wag me? I don't even know what that means. Solves would end the Ponzi. Brick 69K. So, I mean, history would tell you we would lose 69K. But we'll see what happens. It could be different this time. Real estate probably, I mean, it depends if you got some shack in a rural area, that's probably not going to outperform too many things. But real estate in a year like this likely would outperform the S&P 500. It likely would outperform Bitcoin. Real estate would likely do pretty, I mean, it still could go down a little bit, but it likely, my guess is this is not going to be as bad for the S&P 500 as 2022. That was the worst year in a while. My guess is that real estate can make a slight gain or 5% or something in 2026. The New York City exodus could help that out a little bit with the Mabdani thing. I don't know if you're actually going to see that many people move out solely because of that. It's funny with it just shows how divided this damn country is. I mean, I feel like, it's funny, like DeSantis and, Texas's governor Abbott are talking about, we're a tariff people moving in, from New York City or whatever. I don't know. It just shows how divided the U.S. has become, really. Now you're not even allowed. Now you can't even move out of one state. I don't think that would never happen, not yet, anyway. But it's showing it's a precursor for what's to come, I guess. To a certain extent for what's to come. So yeah. And by the way, guys, if you guys are interested in trading over on TapBit, I put a good amount on there. They got some good bonuses, and it's no KYC, so check it out. It's a Korean exchange. Some of you guys like the South Korean traders, maybe not, but we'll look at real estate a little bit. Let's see, gold, silver, physical assets, and cash. Yeah, I do think gold and silver will have a pullback. I think gold needs to cool off, but we'll see what happens. So here's the deposit bonus. Deposit 200, get 100. I think that's the best one to start with. So check it out if you guys are interested. And TST we could look at. Let's look at a few of these. It's in the pin chat as well. I am hunting for a trade right now. Maybe we'll enter one. I just want to, let's go over a few other things, then I'll hunt for a trade. So let's see here. I'll look at gold briefly. Gold versus, that's the thing too. Like everything, I can't find anything that's, okay. Yeah, I mean, when you really zoom out, it looks good against the Berkshire Hathaway. But, when you look at here versus gold, and I guess when you draw enough lines, you can make anything look bullish. But higher low from there, similar area right there. Now, if we look at gold USD, this is getting the trigger wave right there, potentially, coming up a little bit. I do think you may be able to run at the highs again or close to them or something, but I do think you got a good shot maybe back to 3,200 at some point in 2026, in the first half of 2026. From there, you'd probably do pretty good. Real estate, I like to look at the Miami housing futures. Maybe with Mabdani winning, this could be a bottom here. This does not... This almost looks like you're going into your next damn recession, so I don't know. But maybe some of these waves, these trigger waves, help us out here, and you get some relief in 2026. That's what be my guess. I would lean bullish for now. Oh, you're talking about this. I thought TST was something else touched. I don't know what that is. Is this a crypto you're wanting me to look at? This isn't a crypto. I don't know what this is. It came up a lot out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, not too. It doesn't look too good, unfortunately. Let's look at, we could look at silver, and then, Zcash is the only privacy coin I think that's doing very well. So I don't know. I think that's a little bit of a fluke. We'll see what happens though. Silver looks pretty toppy. You made a new all-time high, which is good. I think that for clue, shows that we'll see more, especially in the 2030s or maybe later this decade. But I think she needs to cool off a little bit. I don't know if you're going to go all the way back to $30, but I could easily see a 20% correction to 40. I don't think you would have a full 45% correction, although, you still, let's look at 2022, you saw 35%. So that's not unusual for this to have, decent pullbacks. I will say that, it's not unusual for this to have, significant pullbacks. Oh, time sensitive thumbnails. Yeah, it was a time. You like the thumbnail, Longfellow? Yeah. It's funny. I'm doing TA on something that's not even. Let's look at Zcash. Shout out to Tom Crown. He's talking about 900. Maybe it's the only thing to buy. I don't know. I think this is getting. Maybe let's try 600 first, then talk about higher areas or whatever. But I have no clue why this is pumping. It doesn't look terrible, but it's also up 1,000,000%. Imagine you got in over there. It's insane. Yeah, just insane. I think if there's any argument to make for kind of an alt season or whatever, maybe this is the precursor of it all. Some coins are just coming up. But yeah, we got it. It's a good sign, a good thumbnail. Yeah, I think I do the thumbnails pretty well myself. I mean, that guy wanted me to hire him. Whenever I hire people like that, they just once they get so unreliable and so unresponsive so quickly, and usually the workmanship is just so crappy. It's just unfortunately. Here's one to talk about, Palantir. This, I think with the Bearish short, I mean, regardless of what the hell ends up happening with this, it looks overheated. It will correct at some point. Nothing goes up forever. You talk about the price to earnings rate, insane. 446 PE. Price to earnings ratio. I think it will come down at some point. Burry, I would guess he'll be right this time. You can't be wrong forever. I don't know if, I mean, you're shorting something with a $400 billion market cap. I think that's a big enough market cap to short, you know. There's not going to be enough people that could, you know, counter trade him and, like, you know, beat him out or whatever. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. That's the problem too, yeah. All those they never provide time sensitive thumbnails. They never do it, and yeah. That's the thing. XMR, let's see. Yeah, we can look at XMR, sure. Privacy tokens. I mean, do you guys know why these are doing well? Well, I mean, I wouldn't call this well. You haven't even made a, you know, you barely made a new all-time high here. I don't know if this is gonna. Maybe you get up to that point. Maybe it could go higher. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I mean, you could look at Stellar. That's another one that's probably cooked. I mean, you know, you look here, or what? Yeah, Stellar Lumens. Why is this not? I thought we had more data on this. Hold on. Wasn't there? Not. Yeah, no, it was Stellar, the one that went crazy recently, right? Maybe it's I'm on the wrong. Here we go. See this high here, 18. You know, higher lows. This is probably cooked. I mean, and then doing your same thing. It made a higher low there, or lower high. I meant to say back there. You know, not really if you don't count. Well, yeah, they're early 2020, so yeah. I would guess we may be bearish until like June of next year. Again, just a guess, but maybe you see like a bottom that no one thinks is a bottom in June of next year, you know, and then it actually is the bottom on like 2022, which that was a pretty good bottom to get in on, you know, in 2022, especially for Bitcoin. You know, ETH2 did pretty well there. Excellent. It's bullish. Okay. Wow. I mean, maybe we're going to $1.50. Hopefully. I don't know. You know. Yeah. The Adam and Eve pattern. Yeah, I mean, it's like any other pattern. Yeah, it could be good. Shout out to the Crypto Lifer. Good guy. What was I gonna see here? I mean, what is crypto YouTube right now? Are people more bullish or bearish? I mean, are more people? I feel like they're more bullish overall, but that's always, you know, I feel like you get more views and everything if you stay more bullish. But I mean, at this point, you know, guys, look. I mean, what do you want me to say? You want me to be bullish to infinity? I mean, this is it doesn't look good. You know, I for the longest time, I said I would remain bullish until you see the 3-week or the monthly on the ETH get to this point. I stayed bullish longer than I probably should have stayed bullish to a certain extent, you know. So yeah. And I think, yeah, using what are down? What do you mean? They're bearish? Or like people in general watching less crypto? Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that. They could be more down. That's the thing too. Like, I mean, a lot of these, you know, it's just not. I mean, you got to hold where we are right now for, well, that's Polygon versus Bitcoin, but oh man, this is not the best situation here, unfortunately. I guess that area, I mean, kind of where we are right now. You want to hold like 16, kind of where we are right now. I don't know if you will. What was the dot is that got obliterated? I think, yeah. I don't know. You lost at this point. This is probably dead. I mean, anything could happen, but you lost these. This is, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a cleansing of the market to a certain extent. We want to look at Bitcoin dominance. And that's probably going to be headed up to these areas, maybe 64 again. Now, the thing here, this was when, yeah, I mean, this was July of 2019 where you peaked at, yeah, end of 2019, when they ended QT. So maybe you jump up, double top, or lower high or something. I don't think you're going to get much higher than that 65% here. but we'll see. We'll live through, could chip out, won't. I would say, even all those video views have been down slightly, ever since Evan Aldo got bearish. But we've been okay, you know. But yeah, the goal is, bro. No, Berkshire Hathaway. I don't. What do you think, man? You've had some good calls, Nanya. What do you think? Are we going up to? I mean, what? I think it's gonna take time before you get to 5,000. That's like more of a 2027 or 2028. That's more of end of decade, in my opinion. I think if we look at this enough, I mean, here was the high 70 or no, yeah, 79, and then you didn't really make a new high until, yeah. It's different. It's different in ways, you know. 74 had a big correction there. 4,600. Who knows? Well, was that the? Let's see. Yeah, it could. Anything's possible. We'll see. I would be curious. Yeah, for the people that bought 43, I mean, there may be a little excitement for them, and then it falls over. I think you will cool off with everything else. I mean, that's my opinion. Freaking, I mean, you're getting a nice jump against. You're up 5% against the Nasdaq here for your Berkshires. So we'll see. I mean, you've still outperformed the triple Q since December 21. Trying to make a higher low there. I mean, here was the real 2010 to like 2020. That was the lost decade for this. But then, so far this decade, not too terrible. Up slightly. The euro, I have not looked at that in a while. I would guess the dollar will start to outperform that. Yeah, I think you're going to be trying to head down, especially as the DXY kind of comes up. Euro did jump up a bit against the dollar there. A little drop in July. So you've been choppy, but you're still at the same evaluation. I think that will come down. If we look at the Dixie here, this is probably not going to be, yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. Like this came up. It'll probably come up this time as well, but it won't come up with, crypto will not come up with it, unfortunately, I don't think. I think it'll be different. I think this will come up, though. I wonder where we could kind of compare this to. I mean, maybe like 90s a little bit, man. Like, because that's where, yeah, it fell, well, it came up a little bit during, yeah, I mean, if we're right here, let's see something. That, yeah, I mean, it came up in the late night, yeah, it could be like that, and then it kind of comes down as, could be something like that, I don't know. And you had that jump in 22. All assets can be infinity dollars or $0. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Can't disagree with that. We may jump a little bit higher here. It's hard to, okay, now let's hunt a trade or something. So, let's see here. Probably, well, you know what? I kind of feel like trading the good old granddaddy of it all, BTC. Let's take a look at our spiral line. So we don't have any too much around here. 102 is a big pocket. 104 is pretty big. Can we do something here? We could look at our 21 EMA. Okay, we can look at the 200. Everything's below it. So that's below it. We could have, what is 200? Yeah, let's look at 200 moving average. Is that much, would that be much different? I wonder what that, how that would, oh, a little bit higher, okay. Similar there. Actually, we want to look at, let's look at a tighter one, like the 21. People like the 21. Yeah, now we could kind of, oh, that's part of Market Cipher A. Yeah, that's EMAs. This is not a terrible short entry. You're like losing these there. Yeah. Let's take a short. I think that the rejection from there. So if we were to short here, and we were to try to come back to this area, zoom out a little bit. I'll do this for the stream. If I do a, because that's a swing high or whatever. That's 1-to-1. Something like that is what we may want to try. What's our, okay, so 2%. Let's take this trade. Let's go to Bitcoin. And Russell 2000, yeah. I haven't looked at that in a while, but anyway. So, yeah, 2%. Okay, 15 is okay. We'll do a nice position. Let's do like 200 or 300. Let's do 200 grand or something, 250. Let's try that. I'm too lazy to limit it. I'm going to mark it in. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do a stop loss. And by the way, guys, if you're interested in trading, check out TapBit, link down below. If you deposit at least $200, you get a $100 trading bonus, and I'll give you one free month in the All the One Power VIP Discord. Okay, so slightly above 105. 105.004. Let's try that. So a good amount of, oh, yeah, I think it's okay. I don't know what my liquidation point is, but maybe we will get liquidated. Oh, it doesn't even say the liquidation. Interesting. Gotta be careful, guys. But yeah. Anyway, so we're in this trade right now, or I'm in this trade. And this is like one of, you know, when you look at this objectively, kind of is what I like right here, you know, kind of is what I like. And we'll see if we can do something here. Sideways until then, imp. Let's look at the Russell, sure. Why not? The Russell 2000. I don't even know the damn... Is it this? What is that? Where do... I mean... US Russell 2000. E-mini index future. I guess it's this, RTY. I don't know. It's not something I look at very often. It's small caps, right? Yeah. Big drop there. So, yeah, it keeps going upward. So let's look at this versus SPY. And yeah, it's obviously bled against the SPY for the last over 10 years. A nice jump in the beginning, yeah, with all that money printed in 2021, but then falling off a cliff. Did well in... Does anyone know why this outperformed everything for that decade? So this does good when the markets do bad? Is that what? That's weird. I don't know what to make of this, man. I'm not too... Oh, did I do it? Did I screw up the stop loss there? Hold on a second. I might have... 104. I put the stop losses to take profit. No, not too bad. Maybe my leverage is a little bit too high. No, it's 10. Okay, whatever. It's fine. I'm satisfied with this. Oh, it's only 1 point. It's good enough. We're good. Anyway. So we have that. And your boy may not have taken some profits and put them into a trading account. Only do that if you know how to trade. Even better, keep money moved around now. It's especially important as we get into a bear market year where you may or may not see exchanges go down. I don't think any of the ones that I use, because they're Asian exchanges, will go down. More reliable. It's kind of like a Japanese car. It's generally more reliable, but yeah. ETH too, potentially dropping down a little bit farther there. So yeah. Nightshade's had, if you guys are interested in Discord, I'll show you what Nightshade's posted. He's had some good stuff lately. Oh, he posted some of that one. I'm not going to show that immediately. Well, what's he? Okay, short. Okay, showing something, but he's had some good trades here. It'd be funny if this was a loss, but yeah. I didn't even see that. See if it's short, but yeah, he's been doing pretty well. Swing short, yeah. That's down to, yeah. We're going down, folks. Probably. Anything could happen. We're probably going down. Anyway, smash the like button, guys. And by the way, pin chat if you guys are interested in trading on TapBit. You can claim your bonus. The 200 for 100 is really good, or 100 for 30. They usually don't do these too often. Check it out. And here's the trading bonus. So check it out if you guys are interested. Fees are not terrible. I mean, the fees, they're all generally kind of the same on most of these exchanges. You get 20% of your fees for life with TapBit with my link. So yeah. And that Trinity, yeah. That's the thing too. Berkshire outperformed ETH since, it outperformed a lot of stuff, including the NASDAQ technically since 2021. So yeah. We'll see. We shall see. May have further down to go. Definitely, man. You don't say. No, I mean, well, let's look at. Well, we could look. Okay. A couple of things we could look at here. And I mean, it just feels so historic. It feels prehistoric in a way. Just because of the, call it what you want. 4-year cycle, what's happened before, midterm years. It feels prehistoric. It feels prehistoric, guys. I don't know. I find that funny, but let's just do a little bit of, looking at history. Down 86% against the US dollar here. But this time's different, bro. Bro, do you even look at the institutions, bro? This time's different. It could be. Fair enough. I don't mean to mock those people. I don't mean to. They have a good point. This was 77% down. Those two were relatively, 86, 77. Let's say it's 10% better here. That's 67 still. That's still 40 damn K. Now, it could be even better than that, but, I mean, we haven't seen that bad of a, let's just, 60K would be, right there. Let's just look at, even the damn S&P 500 corrects over 50% every so often, but yeah. It's just squiggly lines, man. It doesn't matter. It's just squiggly lines. It's just squiggly lines. Do you see one squiggly line in this chart? There's not one. Okay. Maybe that's a squiggly line. Slightly. It's more straight in my opinion. There's no squiggly lines here. I'll show you. You want to see squiggly lines? That's a squiggly line. You see any squiggly lines? I only use straight lines. This is a straight only stream. We don't do squiggly lines here. I don't know if you understood the reference there. Nothing against people who do squiggly lines, but I think for TA they're not as good. Is the NASDAQ dropping too? Yeah. You probably see some. Yeah, this could be it. I mean, when did it peak out? Let's see here. I'm trying to find 22, but the peak was November. The peak was November. 4 years later. No, obviously 18 was different. The peak was September. You did have a peak in January. Man, that came out of nowhere, that correction. Why did it crash here 22% out of nowhere? I wonder. 2015, everybody was scared. Yeah, I don't know what. That was a dump. I don't know what was going on there. People were scared in 2015, man. I'll tell you that much. People were scared. Bob Brinker was scared. They said it was going to be like '08 all over again. They were saying it was all over. They were saying it was all over. What would that have even looked like? Yeah, all the way back to 11. Not really. But yeah. The thing with fear and greed now is the way you know we're in a bear market is let's just see the betting odds on what is it? What price will we hit in November? They're thinking 95K. I guess it's probably not going down to 85, but yeah. What price will we hit in 90K? They're thinking, I don't know if that's still a decent shot of jumping up to 120 or 130. It's not an awful percentage there. But, yeah. Let's see Ethereum. This is where it could, yeah, 3,000. That's probably, I don't know if you're going to go that low, but, yeah. I mean, we're not that far away from that. Yeah, really close to it, yeah. JD Vance is probably going to freaking get it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Little Marco. I feel like some of these ETFs, man, for example, like ETH staking ETF, that was kind of a sell signal. I don't know if your XRP is going to be able to do it. I think it could be cooked, man, unfortunately. I mean, this doesn't look like the most bullish thing. You had kind of the, if you kept coming up from this, what am I doing here? From this recovery, this kept coming up, then yes, but you're kind of throwing a pipe wrench into the dam. I mean, let's just look at previous bear markets for this too. You know, I mean, this was down 96%. This one was not nearly as bad, 84. Let's say you do 75. I mean, that's still back down like $1. Very volatile situation here. So, yeah. I mean, you're either going to eventually break upward or break downward or just go sideways forever. But 78, I mean, it's not impossible. I was thinking you could break upward to like $6 or something eventually, but fortunately, less likely now. Cat ears. I was just at a restaurant, and they had like Tom and Jerry on the TV. Very Japanese Tom and Jerry. I don't think Tom and Jerry even has like English or any language in it. I think it's just Tom. It's just them like chasing the mouse and all that. Used to watch that when I was a little kid. But yeah. You see, Tom Brady had his dog cloned. But yeah. But anyway, this is the most bearish Evanaldo has been on the macro. For good reason. I'll say that. for a logical reason. Thing too is if we just look at what people have, like overall sentiment, and this is among, everyone. I'm not going to say any names of who was bearish or whatever, But, when you look at this situation, a lot of people were bearish here. A lot of people were pretty scared here. These are the two places that you shouldn't have been scared when you were scared. This is the place where you should be scared, in my opinion. I mean, yearly is down for Bitcoin, I think, right now. Is the yearly? I don't know what we, yeah. Beginning of this year, yeah. The thing, too, let's just look at, like, basic. This is interesting, too, because if you take this situation, so if you were to, that's the thing. And I mean, I'm not the biggest proponent of breakouts and all that, and, you know, but if you look at this situation, if we lose, you know, if you kind of lose, how do we, let me draw this a little bit. Yeah, something like that. If you lose here, which would be kind of where you're losing right now, your target's at 72. That would be the first place where I would consider BTD. Anyway. Only a couple episodes of Tom Jerry, yeah. Right there. You may jump a little. I don't even know if you will jump here. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't even know if your triple Q is going to give us anything. Depressing time, boys and girls. Depressing time. Depressing time. We'll do well with trading, though. I'm very optimistic. We got Nightshade in there. We got a lot of. If you guys are interested in Discord, I highly recommend it. We're going to do more and more stuff, guys, as time goes on. But there's still operate. We did very well in 22 as well, so there's more. You know, don't get too afraid. I'm being objective. I mean, I would probably get more viewers right now if I was delusionally optimistic, but your boy doesn't want to lie. That guy on Twitter was kind of, I mean, everyone's going to be wrong eventually. That Dr. Profit or whatever. I don't know much about him at all. He was bearish, and he's kind of been right so far. I guess she's definitely going to run, right? We're going to see her debating Newsom. That's the progressive kid. It's going to be like Bernie debating Hillary. That's Hillary, that's Bernie. You know? Or that's Biden, that's Bernie. You know, that's kind of... I don't know if he'll run. Kamala, I feel like she won't. She could. I mean, it depends if they want to, how much they want to pack it. I feel like everyone tries to run. LeBron James. Yeah, that's when it gets kind of... They know, yeah, this is like donating money to the exchange. Neither one of them will do it. Stephen A. Smith. Y'all watch too much ESPN. I feel like ESPN has got, I don't watch it, but I've heard it's gotten very political in recent years, right? Liz Cheney. That was, because she was talking about running last time to like prevent... That's why a lot of the boomers thought she would run last. Not a lot of the boomers, just ones. Even for boomers, they didn't think that. But I guess some of them, I guess a few of them, thought that she would run and take away votes from who the hell was it, Trump or whatever, and DeSantis would get the nomination. I don't even. Yeah, no one even knows who. I forget what the hell she said, but it was nonsense. She didn't even run. Mr. Beast. My God. I think anyone in the 1% range is like not even gonna run. Oprah Winfrey. Does she even still do her show? Is Oprah Winfrey even still? I think she's like old now, right? How old is Oprah Winfrey? Probably 60s, 70. I don't know. But it's going to be J.D. Vance and all that. Unless, like, Trump wants to run his son. Unless Don Jr. wants him to step aside or something else. I think that Trump will just endorse Vance. Trump is too old at this point. He's not going to try for a third term. He just wants to mess with people a little bit and gouge it. But, man, a lot of the Europeans, like man, like even probably the lefty Americans too. Like they probably think he's gonna try for a third term. But yeah, but no one logical. I mean, no one logical. No, everyone logical knows JD Vance. Michael Saylor wouldn't even. It would be funny, even if he said he was going to run for president or that said he was thinking about it. I don't even think he would get in the. Maybe he would get in the odds on Polymarket because of crypto, but nobody knows who he is outside of crypto, really. Like, you think these people that know who Stephen A. Smith is know who Michael Saylor is? You think these people that follow who, like I barely even know who Stephen A. Smith is. Did he even play? Was he? He was not. I know he's a commentator on ESPN. I know that. Like I've seen him speak. Um, but I don't even know if he's played in the NFL. I don't know where. Yeah. Oh, network TV. Huh. Was that on YouTube? What's it on? I feel like everyone's on the internet now. You have to be if you want to. Like, if you're just on terrestrial radio or whatever, or just on actual TV, I mean, your audience has got to be age 60 plus. I mean, there's clips of the MSNBC on the. I mean, that's mainly, you know. Mm, he's been getting plugged for me. Are you talking about Stephen A. Smith? I don't even. I think in all likelihood, I mean, I guess somebody, I don't, I think the odds are very high that it's Vance against Newsom. Will they put up AOC? I mean, if they put up AOC, I think she would definitely lose. I don't even think AOC would have a chance against Newsom in the primary. Um, I think she would have a chance in 2032. She would have a good shot of it, especially if JD Vance wins in 28, which I think he will. I think the odds are that JD Vance will win in 2028. Let's see. It's wild too how you could bet on it and all that. I mean, if it's not Newsom, then who else? I mean, this is probably a good bet to make. You're gonna have to wait a while for an outcome, but I mean, you'd make a good amount there. Well, not a crazy amount, but yeah. Kansas City might pull it off too. I could see Kansas. I mean, that's like the dominant team of, this time, after Brady, it's Mahomes. The AOC as president is just going to be like the opposite of Trump. This populism is wild, and you're probably still going to see populism if history, repeats. You're going to see a lot of I mean, I don't really live in the U.S. anymore, guys. I mean, it's not. Your boy doesn't even really live in the U.S. most of the year anymore. So, I mean, that's the truth. Whenever I meet Americans outside the U.S., they usually immediately bring up politics. Whenever I meet Western Europeans, they usually immediately bring up politics. The environment in the U.S. is just not the best. It's expensive as hell. Even if you have money, it's still expensive. It does feel like a scam in a lot of ways, although other places do too. But I don't know. It's just not what it used to be, in my opinion. Depends what you're into, though. There's pros and cons. Talks on XRP for year's end. It doesn't look good at the moment. Maybe we could rally. I don't know, man. I think it's probably topped for the year. Go into more detail on that, Carlton Way. I'm curious, like, where are you? What are you experiencing? I want to, if you feel like typing it out. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get any better in the U.S. Not anytime soon. It is a big country, though. It depends where you go. People are thinking of cut for. You may not even see a cut for December either. You probably will, assuming things come down, because the Fed would probably want to cut if things come down more, as they have been coming down. The thing though is, because Jerome sounded hawkish or whatever, this has come up since when was the meeting? Yeah, this has come up since then. I don't know about that weekly. It's gonna keep going. I don't know. I would hope you reject. I want lower interest rates like everybody else, but yeah. I don't know. People seem miserable in the U.S. in a lot of ways. Not to say they're not miserable in other places too, but I mean, I spent a month in the happiest country in the world, considered, Finland. People were a little bit nicer, more outgoing in some ways. They seemed happier. I'll tell you that much. Finland's expensive, especially for food and eating out, that type of stuff. But yeah, not a place I'd live long term. Obviously, those winters, not for me. Coins Kid? I don't know who that is. I mean, everybody's gonna be. I mean, I've been in this game for a while, guys. I mean, people were very bullish throughout the first half of 2018. People were very bullish throughout the first half of 2022. You know, it don't mean it's gonna come up. It could, sure, it could. I mean, XRP's got that, that big following. There's always people gonna be all over that thing, but yeah. I mean, if the Nasdaq keeps coming down here, which it probably looks like we're at the start of that. I mean, the thing too with the Tom Lee stuff. I mean, that was a good catalyst to. I mean, I know he's not SBAT, but the sequel has not been as good. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I guess if you got in on this dip, you'd just be break even. I mean, BMNR. That's the Tom Lee one. That's a little bit better, I think. Right? Yeah. You're still ahead slightly. I mean, maybe double. Maybe you could do something here. I don't know. You know. I like living overall outside the U.S. better than living in the U.S. I'll say that. It depends where you go, though. I mean, I'm in Japan right now. I don't really think I would live in Japan long term. It may be Malaysia for me, probably for Asia. Malaysia checks a lot of boxes, like Malaysia or Thailand. Um, for Latin America, probably Mexico or Costa Rica. I mean, Paraguay, I haven't been there yet. I've heard some good things. That's where I'm going to check out. Maybe Brazil, one of those. Um, so, yeah. But proof is in the pudding here. I mean, the nice thing, too, if I could double my ETH holdings through this, same thing with Bitcoin. The thing is, that wasn't even freaking, that was just this year. But, right here at February 23, and then he came down a bit. Yeah. Let's look at this against Bitcoin again, because the main thing that you use these tools, these boomer tools here, is to, that monthly, probably the 3 week. Yeah, September 22, and then I would guess this time 1 to 2 waves on the 3 week. I'm looking at like these waves above the sometime in 26. Maybe. I mean, you made a slightly, that's the thing here, like a slightly higher high against, you could come up far. I mean, I don't know. If this were to go, let's do the math on this a little bit here. If Berkshire were to go, well, let's look at the prices of these first. So I need a calculator and I don't have my phone in front of me. Oh, maybe we can find the calculator on my... Okay. Hopefully So if this goes down to say, and it probably will go down with everything else, and you know, it was 2022, it went up, down more there. I mean, it probably won't be as bad. You got a damn bull. Oh, that's a new freaking. That is not a good situation there. Although these don't usually play out that badly. That's interesting how it was in late 90s. That is interesting there. Everything may bleed against the dollar for a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. Let's say this goes down to like 600 or 650. And Bitcoin's at 50K. So, 650, 50K, 13. Let's go back to that chart. 13 is where we would like it to, at least it to be, you know, something of that nature. Let's say this goes down to, I don't know, 600. And Bitcoin is at 42K. Again, I don't think it's going to go much lower than that, but 14, okay, so not too much different. That's 14. I think this area would be pretty significant. If we can get here or whatever, close to it. That's what I would be looking at, and that would make the most sense here. And in all likelihood, this would outperform the S&P 500 during that time. So 140, less than 350. But, yeah. I mean, I don't really see... I mean, we could get really frickin', I mean, let's just follow this trajectory from, you know, 20, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't really see this going below 600. From there, that would be a 23%. Yeah, let's say 625. 625 divided by headed back to 100, yeah. Divided by 40K. Let's say it goes to 40K. 15.6. There you go. That's 15.6. And let's do the is it jumping? Yeah, it's probably jumping here. We'll see what happens. Jumping slightly. But what was I going to say here? Let's look at previous. So, you know, let's say it goes down 66%. That's going to be, where is that? Oh, that's only 42. I mean, let's say it goes down 70. That's 36. Maybe 650. I mean, this is probably like best case scenario for, I mean, it's hard to say, but it's 18. Where would 18 be? Still not that much higher. And we could look at, you know, if you looked at there to there, oh, that wouldn't have, oh, that's interesting because that was the first one. Let's say it's like that maybe. That's 11 would be the first. Oh, that is interesting. With diminished return, yeah, I would guess around here, 14 to 15. The lower end would be 11, I would guess. I would guess like 13 to 15. That's what I would guess there. What was I going to say? So there was that. Yeah. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with Berkshire. I think it's probably going to go down with everything else. But it may hold up better. That's my opinion. Maybe it'll be worse with the new CEO. Maybe people get spooked. New CEO. Buffett's done. Maybe. Maybe. Let's look at this SPY. So, let's say SPY does this. 540, let's say, and that would be similar to what we saw last year. That's 22% down. This was worse, 26% down. And that was October. 18 was different, but it was still a choppy year. That was 16% down. Let's say it just goes down 15% or something. So it goes down to like 580. Let's look at SPY versus Bitcoin. SPY at 580. And then divided by, see, Bitcoin's at 42, I guess. I don't know. 13.13. That would be a nice jump up. 86%, yeah. Around there is where I would look at. That's the thing there. Other thing, if you want there to there, be that high. Now the thing here is you could go, yeah, this would probably give us an idea. 10 and then there. I'd probably move up these numbers. I don't know why I had them out down here. I was probably, that could have been just looking at them, you know, just by eye. Right there, yeah, like 10 to 13. That's where I would guess. Now the thing that's nice about this is like converting right now, it's doubling your Bitcoin. If you can get, you know, if it does go up there, we don't know. You know, that's the thing, we don't know. But if it does go up there, you know, you got 1 Bitcoin, double it, 2 Bitcoin. I don't think that's enough to become a millionaire by the end of the decade, but probably pretty good. You know, probably still pretty good. I think you're probably gonna need 3 Bitcoin. 300K, I think. You know, 300K, I think, could be end of decade goal for Bitcoin. 330K. I want to look at that. Let's look at, so we're already, it's wild too, we're already in that same kind of, you know, thing here. You look at these fib levels from there to there. And we didn't get quite to these ones. So this was a different situation. You got to 100, and then you got slightly above it. In previous cycles, it gave us a little bit better, but if we look at, well, yeah, we don't really have much. Yeah, I was gonna say we don't really have much. We don't have a high to low yet, but 240. However, let's improvise. Let's say Bitcoin topped out here, 126 or whatever. I mean, if it goes down to 49 or 50, there's your 330, big level. For your best case scenario, in my opinion, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Let's say it goes down to 42. Probably doesn't change things too much. 340, 260. Say it goes down to, I mean, what are they? It could be any of these places. I mean, 37. Yeah, 360 there. Who knows if it even has to bottom out there. Let's say it goes down to 30. Let's be really freaking like as pessimistic as possible. And that would be a 74% correction. So it's probably worst case scenario. Probably worst case scenario. Let's say it goes down to 32. 280. There you go. Almost $1 million if you have 3 Bitcoin. It's probably going to be something along those lines into the end of this decade. Most likely. Most likely. I don't know how much you guys care about this. I don't know. Let's look at CNBC. I just want to see what the people are saying, what the news is going on right now. AI renews its decline, yeah. Damn it, now. No more inside information. She's been in the House of Representatives for like, what, 70, 80 years? No, I'm just kidding. Probably like 50 or 60, right? Long time. She was big, yeah, during Obamacare, all that. 4 decades, yeah. 85. Well, I guess you won't be able to copy her stock trades anymore. But there's other people that you'll be able to copy. The short, it's not really doing much, man. Got to wait. We'll see what happens. It's Friday here right now. I mean, for you guys, it's Still Thursday, right? Yeah. I didn't even realize it's 1 a.m. here. Jeez, I didn't realize how late it was here where I am. Probably gonna go to bed soon. I do want to kind of wake up for the because Bitcoin Twitter space. It's just like tough for me with where I am in the world. But yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that 2026 will be a recession. I don't think it'll be that bad. Are they betting on that? I'm curious. I mean, those odds are probably low right now, but I just want to type in recession, see if that US. Ooh, those are some freaking high odds for. This just started too. Those are high. I mean, there's probably not much money being put on this, but those are some high odds for 26. Maybe this is actually. Maybe this is our crash year, you know. But it's a little early, you know. But I mean, you had COVID. I mean, I guess 2008. You know, how many years was it since 08? 18 years. Could be. Yeah, we don't know. I don't think it'll be though. I think it's too good to be true for all these gold bugs, but maybe I'm wrong. God, Peter Schiff will never shut up on his rage bait situation if it does play out like that. So it shows what the hell is a crypto trend? I don't even know what that means. Crypto treasury companies. Shout out to Mitch Ray, by the way, really good analyst, really good guy. I don't even what's a crypto treasury company? I don't even know what that means. Yeah, the Centennial. Yeah, I mean everybody knows about that. Well, not everybody, but yeah, Centennial. I mean, I would guess 2030 would be the year, but that's just looking at 4-year cycle that would crash. I have no idea. Pelosi. Yeah. Alex Becker stopped posting a little bit. If that's true, yeah. Pretty good. Probably not true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is this somebody who looks like they actually made this amount of money and got a 10x in the last? I don't know. I don't know. I don't mean to. Look, I mean, I'm sorry, man. If this person ever sees this, like, I don't mean to bash you or anything. If this is true, amazing. But, you know, just funny stuff that comes up. Wait, do they actually fall asleep in Congress? Anyway, a couple more hours and then, yeah, that could be a jump or something. Let's actually look at that. That's probably kind of the one hope for that. If we look at the NFTs here, and it's not looking too good, unfortunately, but the one hope for that is, I guess, market cap. You know, if you look at these lows here, you're only a little bit below the. I don't even. Does it even say what the? No, you made a new low for my. This is dead, bro. Unfortunately, I think this is dead. It was a good gamble, but yeah, it was a good gamble. But yeah. And by the way, guys, if you're interested in trading, we got a new exchange here, TapBit. That's the one I'm using down here, pretty good. And great bonus if you guys are looking to get in. Especially at 200, get 100, and I'll give you 1 free month in the Discord if you sign up to any links down below. Deposit at least $200. So yeah, check it out with my link. 20% off your fees for life. Really good thing. Been doing well with it so far. When your boy takes profits on crypto, he puts them into trading accounts and tries to do risky stuff with them. So be careful. But anyway, so yeah, really appreciate you guys. I think I'm gonna get going. It's getting late here. Been on about an hour and a half. I mean, I don't know if there's really much else to look at the moment. We'll do a chat in the Discord relatively soon. So yeah, I mean, that's that. Probably gonna go to sleep, get some shut eye. And we can look at like what's been Dash has been. Yeah, some of these have been mooning out of nowhere. I don't know why. I guess if anything, supports an altcoin season potentially happening into this, but you know, I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys really soon. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a good one.